Hi, so in this video series, we're going to take a look at how to create and insert graphs and charts in Word. I have a pretty simple one up for you to peer at here, and hopefully by the end of this video series, you will feel pretty confident in your ability to create and insert almost any graph or chart that you need to in a Word document that you are working in. So let's begin with a text that doesn't have a graph or chart. And to insert a graph or chart, we need to go up to the Insert toolbar in Word. And so to insert a graph or chart, we need to go to the Insert toolbar. And this is probably a very familiar toolbar to you at this point. And if you look at this illustrations part of the toolbar here, you will see this is where you go to put pictures, clip art, shapes, smart art, and here is the button for charts. Okay. So if we click onto that, you will see that there are many options for you. So we have many templates for charts, columns, lines, pie charts, bar charts, area charts, scatter charts, which, by the way, make sure that you pick the right chart for the right application. We'll talk about that in a sec here. Stock chart, surface chart, donut charts, bubble charts, radar charts. The ones that you'll most likely be using primarily will be columns, lines, pies, bars. Occasionally you'll use an area chart, and the rest are fairly rare. But occasionally you'll have need of those other ones as well. They are just a little bit more specialized and a bit harder to understand unless you are a specialized audience and are used to looking at those types of charts and deciphering them. So I thought what we would do first is to look at these different types. So in Word, you can see they have all these different columns that you can choose. Okay? And they usually go from simplistic to more complex in a way. Not always, though. Okay, so they have really two-dimensional to three-dimensional here. Okay. And you see column, they have a whole bunch of different options. They have lines here. Okay. Pie charts, bar charts. Okay. Area. Scatter charts, like we were talking, stock charts, surface, donuts, bubble, and radar. You can see how these radar, that's kind of a specialized, same thing with the surface or scatter chart. Okay. Also watch these bar charts when they have stuff where you're taking a look at something that comes to a point. These are sometimes, these can easily be deceptive because visually the point doesn't always express what you want. Same thing with when you're looking at the column charts. Okay. Now, what I wanted to do here, we'll close out of this for just a second, is to talk a little bit about choosing the right chart for the application. And this is the biggest problem people have when they first start using graphs or charts. And so, as you've probably read for this lesson, regardless of the course you might be in at this point, you want to make sure that you're using and applying the right chart for the data you need to represent here. And so here, there are many opportunities for these things. I'm utilizing a report here that discusses web page navigation, which some of you may have seen earlier as a report sample. But here the author is claiming that in our time, many people use the internet to obtain information. Having great web page navigation on any page is the most important task to accomplish. Web page navigation is the way users find what they are looking for throughout the page. Okay, so I thought this would be a good place to show some evidence for that. Now, I must present a disclaimer here that I am making a chart up and I am making data up as well just for this presentation. So this chart is not based upon real data. We are creating something for academic purposes only here. Now, if I want to show that people are increasingly using the internet and web pages to find information about things, that is something where I probably want to show that people are increasingly looking at things, so I want to show a progression over time. And so could I show that through a pie chart? Probably not, unless I show a series of pie charts. Could I show it through a column chart or a bar chart? Yeah, I guess I could. You could line them up and show them in different years, and you could show a progression of, like increasing bars. That would work. But really, we're probably talking about a line chart where you have a line that traces an increase or a progression over time. This is what I'm talking about, choosing the right chart for your purpose. And this is just one example. Just as each message is dependent upon the rhetorical situation, when you think about and decide what kind of visual you need to create to represent any kind of data, you need to take a look at the data itself to understand what visual or graphic, or in this case graph or chart, will represent it best. So I'm going to go into chart here, and as you see, and as we discussed, I'm going to double click on these line charts, okay, and I'm going to pick a simple one. Okay, here's the line graph here. I did take the liberty to plot out something to save us some time, and I will be zoning in and out of the video here so that you don't have to watch the entire process. Okay, but here you see that as soon as I open this up, again, the chart tools will come up, and you will see that I have design, a design tab here, and the design tab has changed chart type, so I can actually go in here and change the chart at any point. Switch row columns, I can select different data to modify, I can edit data, I can go and change, like be more specific about how the chart looks and is laid out. I can also go in and change the color scheme. See, I just changed it from blue to green. And also you notice that all of a sudden it clicked open an Excel spreadsheet that has a template here and an Excel formula all set up for this. So this is the real beauty about Word, and what many people consider the real value of opening something up in Word. And I'm going to close the clipboard here so that you can see this better. But here, you don't have to create any of the formulas or anything in Word for the graph or chart. So if you are someone in a non-scientific or non-science engineer or technical field, or even if you do come from a technical background, some people find this convenient just to create charts in Word because they don't have to set up everything in Excel. They don't have to get out of Word and then into Excel and then export the thing from Excel or copy and paste it. It's all like in one package here. And so this is a pretty nice setup if you're in Word already. The other thing you can do is modify this thing. So there are many things here. When we take a look at it, we go category 1, category 2, category 3. What this doesn't really do. So if I want to show things over time, I'm going to have to do a lot of work to this graph or chart, and you do need to expect that. So you want to take a look to just make sure that the graph or chart at the very core has all the components that you need. And so basically this thing has a line and it has categories like I need